find something that dads do this in general. They find something that proves what they already wanted to believe.
Yeah.
Like he goes, I read this article in Golf Digest. Tiger, after all this working out and all these injuries, he says that he almost wishes he never worked out because now he's in so much pain. It's like, did it really help? Who knows? I'm like, Dad, that's insane rhetoric. Like, first of all, what he's saying is he wish he didn't worked out that hard, that
hard
long.
as he did.
Yeah. And my dad's like, I don't know. Sounds like you wish he never worked out.
Yeah.
Because my dad's trying to mail in the workout, and my mom is like, no, because now that he's retired, he won't do. He's doing a lot less. I mean, he's come back a little bit, but for a while, the moment my dad retired, he was like, fuck everybody. He was like, give me a drink, give me a bratwurst. I'm gonna watch TV. He just didn't want to do.
He's loving it.
Yeah, he was loving it, dude. Finally, he deserved it. He worked his whole fucking life, and he got fucked over. He got fired from a company he worked for 3 decades. Don't ever use Turtle Wax car wash. I've said that once. I'll say it again.
I've used it before.
Don't ever use it again. Use McGuire's. Use anybody else. Use anybody.
Okay.
Mother's. Use anybody you want.
Okay.
Yeah, they fired They fired my dad after
3 decades.
Yeah, of employment. Yeah, the company was folding. It's a family-owned company. They'll be buried by the time this podcast comes out. But no, it's just my dad's loyalty was insane to the company, and that was also why I've said this before. Why my dad was so into me doing what we do, because he was like, yeah, you're your own boss.
Yeah, it's great. It's the best.
You're your own victim, and you're your own victor. So there's no one to blame, and you can take the credit, which is nice. He's like, don't ever spend your whole life working for someone who doesn't give a fuck about you, which is what.
So true.
I know, dude. It was weird to hear because my old man he's kind of by the book guy, and he's like.
I say it all the time too, man. I mean, I endorse that aspect of what we do. It really resonates with me.
Yeah.
I don't people. Sometimes people are like, what would you be doing? I was like, I would own my own business. I know that.
Yeah, I don't want to work. Well,
if I wasn't
and there's
doing
nothing wrong with working for someone else.
No, there's not.
Just remember, there's a good chance they don't give a fuck about your well-being.
Yeah. Like
when you work for some big company or corporation or whatever, you got to do whatever any American has to do. But that proved to me that, man, these companies, they'll fucking spit you out after you were like, I'm loyal to you, I'm loyal to you, I'm loyal to you. And they're like, cool, man, thanks for the $8 billion over the course of so many years. Fuck off.
I've had, my uncle got super fucked by a company he basically built.
Yeah, he built. Oh, he built.
Yeah, he was the guy that built this independent company up. And
they don't give a shit.
They don't give a shit. This is who I played golf with 20 years ago. I can't believe he's alive.
Wow.
And
can I say his name?
Sure.
This is Stuart Woods, an American novelist, by the way.
He's got a lot of books.
82 years old. He's a book god.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I know. I've seen this guy's books.
Yeah.
You recognize these Stuart Woods books because you've seen them in airports, kiosk spindles.
Massive.
Yeah, dude. He's one of these guys that does.
Thrillers, right?
Yeah. They're like crime thriller drama books. That's exactly what they are. I've seen a million of these.
I had this
He always looks like. But this, by the way, this guy at home, we're gonna put up a photo so you can see what he looks like. They always look like that.
They always look like that. Yeah.
Why? What is that like? Is that like the pro athlete theory where you're like they're born for that?
Oh, he was born to write books. I remember that I was mortified. Maybe you've had this experience where when you start, if you're not a really good when you're young, I started playing golf, let's say I'm 17 or something.
Sure.
And I was mortified to play with other people because I knew I wasn't good.
Right.
And then that summer I get to playing where my parents live. Mm-hmm. And I got to that point where I was,
getting better
and feeling a little more confident. Where I just don't want to embarrass. I don't want to be people would see me and they would go they would go, this guy can fucking go. I don't know why. They're like, you can rip when I.
That's the way you hold yourself.
Yeah, and I was like, shit. I would be embarrassed.
I'm gonna let you down.
So I'm playing with my dad. And
your dad a good golfer?
He's a lifelong golfer. He's all right,
Okay.
He doesn't really play anymore, but he would on a good day he would shoot in the 80s, but on average he'd probably shoot in high 80s, 90s, But
it's not bad.
Competent, can join a foursome and play.
Yeah.
So, he's definitely the veteran taking me out, and I'm playing with him one day, and it's just the two of us, and then we come up on a hole, and there's a guy sitting in a golf cart that is not the golf cart that the course gives you. It's it's tricked out.
Yeah, I love
a fan on it.
Yeah.
What the fuck? And my dad's like, he knows. He goes, that's Stuart Woods. I'm like, who the fuck's Stuart Woods? He's like, he's a big time author. And I go,
The author with the tricked out golf cart?
Yeah, I was like, all right.
He's a fucking baller.
He's a baller. And I go, okay. And so my dad recognizes him and loves famous people, celebrities. So he was like, hey, I have a couple of your books.
That's your dad.
That's my dad. And Stuart Woods is like, well, you got like 12 more to go. And then he's like, you mind if we play with you? I'm like, fuck. Yeah, and then the guy's like, sure. Now I'm nervous that I'm going to embarrass myself
in front of Stuart Woods, American
famous
novelist.
author who I don't know.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, sure, you can play with me. I'm like, oh, fuck. So he goes up there to tee off. He shanks this shit so hard. And I was like, yes. And he puts another ball down. Shanks that one.
Perfect.
Puts a third ball down.
Shut up.
Hooks it. I was like, what the fuck? He hits like 6 of them.
He's like, breakfast ball, brunch ball.
Yeah, and then I was like, okay. And then we, whatever, get on the fairway. He just picks a spot, throws one, hits it, fucks it up, throws another one down, hits it. So I'm like, dude, he's gone through like 26 balls on this hole. And my dad's just like, well, I don't know.
Yeah.
So
he's an American novelist.
He's a novelist. But dude, we play a few holes with him, and then we're like, I think we're going to split because he's so bad that, like, he's dragging us down.
Yeah, he's putting your game down?
Yeah, I was like,
hey, Stu, we're going to walk.
We got to go.
We got to take off because you're dog shit. All right, man.
And if you think I'm bullshitting, Orchid Island, I still fucking remember the course.
Orchid Island?
Yeah.
That's what it is?
Yeah.
Florida has a good place in my heart. I've talked about it before. It's where I lost my virginity.
You did?
Marco Island, Florida, baby.
Oh, West Coast.
That's right, baby. Gulf side.
How old were you?
16. 16? 16. 16.
Pretty young.
Yeah. Wait. Yeah, 16. High school girlfriend. Traded a bottle of Captain Morgan rum for the room key.
Yeah.
We knew one dude that had a hotel. And I was like, I'll give you a bottle of Captain Morgan rum, a handle, if I can have the room key for a little while. And he was like, how long do you need it for? I was like, probably all night. I get in there, it was like 26 minutes later. I'm like, all right, we got to pack up and go back out there?
We gotta go. We just wanted to watch a show.
We wanted to watch one episode of Law & Order, and now we're back. Yeah, Marco Island, Florida. I spent
Was it a memorable experience, like in a good way or no?
Yeah, actually, because for both of us, we were virgins, so it was like we decided that was our thing. It was. I
was the same.
It was nice that it happened that way.
Yeah.
That it was like, my first time was her first time.
Yeah.
Because I hear the other way when people are like, it was a nightmare.
I hear that from women.
Women, yeah, it's always that way. Yeah.
But
no guys ever like, it was your 50th time.
It kind of would have been nice. Like, how nice would it have been if your first time though was a chick like, few years older. It was like, let me just show you what we like.
Yes.
And you're like, okay.
Actually, you know what it would have been great? If I was like 20 and I waited, and like a 42-year-old divorcee was like, I'm going to pump that dick.
Suck your balls.
Yeah,
your ass.
That would have been the best. Yeah. No, but we were both.
And then you'd be like, sex is amazing. And then all your sex would be a disappointment.
Right, everything else would be trash.
Always.
Yeah, no, we were both. Yeah, Florida had this, we knew that's where it was like a.
Were we doing your vacation there?
Spring break.
Oh, spring break.
Yeah, high school spring break. Well, dude, Chicago kids, Florida is our mecca. Like, Florida is where, because it's a snowbird, all the Midwest people go down the coast. And California should be where we really end up going.
Yeah.
Because too many people go to Florida. But no one can afford to go out there.
But also, Florida's like.
You can drive
I think about
Florida.
this a lot. It's so much easier to navigate.
Oh yeah,
all
dude.
that stuff.
Oh
like
yeah.
The beaches.
Yep.
Anything you're trying to get to, and like if you want to park somewhere, it's easy in Florida.
It's there.
Out here, it's a fucking nightmare.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. It's like, but as a kid, also flying to California was daunting. It was like, this is back when people didn't fly that much just to fly. You were like, you're gonna drive there. So it was like we would drive to Florida. I mean, we would go down there, and I've been to Marco, Sanibel, all that. Like, we would go to the islands and usually it was with somebody else's family, because my parents were like, I'm not going down, we're not paying anyone.
Yeah.
It's like, well, so let's go. Can I go with their family? And they're like, yeah, get the fuck out of here, go jump in their van. And it was, the road trip was half of the fun. Like, all that stuff was fucking great.
Yeah.
It was like kind of like that's what made the Florida was great, but getting there was great too, which I don't think we'll ever have again, because I don't think road trips unless the pandemic collapses the airline industry. Road trips just aren't a thing for, like, your kid's generation won't really road trip.
No.
Unless you, for fun, are like, we'll go to the Grand Canyon, whatever. You won't. You won't. But, like, our generation, it was kind of like, that was still a fun thing to go do. Why can't I think? The Chevy Chase. What's wrong with me?
Chevy Chase.
Vacation. Yeah, the original Vacation. It was like, that's what America was at that time. It was like, yeah, we'll drive there. You're like, it's so far. Like,
isn't it weird
so
that there's a Chevy Chase, Maryland?
Yeah, there's a Chevy Chase Boulevard here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is he that?
No.
Is he that beloved?
I think that name means something. We don't know about.
I've said that before. I'm like, is that a thing and I'm too dumb to know that there was a guy named Chevy Chase?
Should we Google it right now?
Yeah, will you Google Chevy Chase? Because honestly, there's a Chevy Chase Boulevard in, I want to say it's right next to Griffith Park. I think it's right over there. There's a Chevy Chase Avenue or Boulevard. And I was like,
dude, do you know how, like, when you Google, it also has, like, common questions asked about?
Yeah, also ask, yeah.
The number one I put in just Chevy Chase, it says, what is wrong with Chevy Chase?
What is the matter with Chevy Chase? Well, because you've heard all these stories where he's like, you know, the lore of Chevy, where he's like, doesn't want to work anymore and is kind of pissy and mad and angry. Have you heard any of this stuff?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you heard, like, I think maybe Dan Harmon had talked about on the set of Community. He was like grumpy and mad, but also, I want to side with him for 2 seconds. A guy that I don't know. I guess after like 40 years in the business.
Yeah.
I probably would be like, all right, fuck everything. I'm doing this because I just have to pay bills. And as an actor, there's no real retirement plan that doesn't exist. Like, you know what I mean? It's like,
people also forget, though, like with him, and I would say this will be like kind of generationally removing people from, like, but he was one of the biggest box office stars in the world.
Yeah, in the world.
And I thought of, it was actually before my time, but I learned this about Burt Reynolds.
Yeah, same.
They're like, do you don't understand, though? Like, had a string of, like, 7 years as the number one.
The guy.
Yeah, and then it's like, when that changes and you're just like, everyone's so, well, people like you, but you're just an actor now.
Yeah, you're a guy.
That's got to be...
It's got to be hard. Well, but also, it's kind of hard to see in a business where, like, there's people, dude, that have made, like, 9, 10, 11 box office bombs, and the business is still like, we love them.
Yeah.
But you're like, but they keep eating shit.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think you could name one legitimate Jennifer Aniston movie where you're like, oh, dude, the movie's incredible.
It's an amazing movie.
No, and I'm not shitting on her. It's like, she's just been in a lot of stuff where you're like, it's okay, I don't know.
Yeah.
But Friends,
they love
like,
her.
but Friends.
But
it just helps. Like,
I just saw a thing where Colin Farrell he was starring in things for a while.
Yeah.
And he said in something recent, like you could probably find it,
right,
that he's never been happier than when he was like when he could no longer be the name above the title. He said he loves his. I mean, you know, someone can just say that, but he's like, it's such a freeing thing to.
Yeah, I'm sure, because the pressure must be absurd to carry a movie.
Yeah.
Like we've known Tiffany Haddish for years as a stand-up. When she became a movie star the pressure is absurd because they're like, well, you are this thing now, and if they don't like it, then we look at you for some reason. But you're like, what about the studio? What about the writers? What about the producer? What about?
And the way people like criticize her is crazy.
Yeah, everyone's
like, why are you so mad about it?
If you're up there, you're gonna get it.
Yeah.
We are. I don't know the term, but we love to go as high as you can get, and then when you're up there, you're like, come on down.
Come on down.
Yeah.
It's such a sick business. I wanted to educate you a little bit.
Yeah, please.
The name Chevy Chase is derived from Chevy Chasse, the name of the land patented to Colonel Joseph Belt from Charles Calvert, 5th Baron, Baltimore, on July 10th, 1725.
Shit.
It has historic associations to a 1388 battle between Lord Percy of England and Earl Douglas of Scotland, the subject of the ballad entitled The Ballad of Chevy Chase.
Wow.
At issue in this chevauchée, a French word describing a border raid or hunting grounds, or a chasse in the Cheviot Hills of Northumberland and Otterburn.
We have Cheviot Hills here.
We do?
Yeah, we have a Cheviot Hills here.
It's so
Wait, so what is his? So is his real name not Chevy Chase?
I'm reading about the name, the word. Okay. So
we got
despite rumor
text,
and
right?
speculation,
Yeah.
Chevy Chase, Maryland has no direct relation to actor and comedian Chevy Chase. Both are named after the British ballad.
He was he just happens to come from Chase, last name Chase, and is named that as such.
Yes. His real name is Cornelius
Crane Chase.
Yeah. And it looks like Chevy Chase, Maryland was named the most affluent town in the United States.
Most affluent town?
Yeah.
Maryland?
Chevy Chase, Maryland.
Chevy Chase, Maryland.
Yeah.
No shit. Maryland? You've been to the Northeast, right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I lived there. I lived in College Park for a while. For University of Maryland.
For school, yeah, I was just going to say.
I didn't go there.
But school is always different because, you didn't go to school, you just around?
I just like college.
The college parties.
I love college parties.
You know what's so funny about that? I partied with guys at ASU.
Yeah.
That were like 24.
You went to ASU?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, man. I know. We wiped down the chair before you sat in it.
Thank you.
I remember partying with like 22, 24-year-olds when we were 19, 20 when we first got in.
And you're like, they're 58.
Yeah. I was like, these guys are 106. But I was also like, they're the coolest dudes on earth.
Yeah.
I was like, what do you do? And the guy's like, Jiffy Lube. And you're like, fucking dude, what are you, a billionaire? What do you got? What do you got? 6 houses already?
Never, dude.
Yeah, we had dudes that like party with us that didn't go to college but lived in college. They lived in college. Like they would meet us on campus. They would hang out. Like they were in college, but they weren't in college.
Yeah.
It was the weirdest feeling of.
I remember being in college and having
non-college.
like local.
Yeah, local.
I went to a really small school, so like you see them, you notice them more. You know what I mean? You're like,
yeah.
You've been at these parties for a while now.
He's like, I'll never leave, dude.
Yeah.
Started at 17. I'll never fucking
leave.
go away, dude.
Yeah.
Bryson.
Yeah.
That was a lot. There was a lot of California transplants in Arizona.
Those schools have both of them. U of A and ASU have just insane reputations.
Yeah, for what? For academics, you mean?
For like biology.
Yes, we are the best at bio. We're the best at chemistry, and ironically, also at math.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I went to school. I got my degree in hydroponic chemical engineering with a minor in heart surgery as a focus.
I'd never even heard of that.
Yeah, it's a new class. It's one class.
Heart
surgery focus. Yeah, heart surgery focus. Yeah, and you don't have to go to med school because, well, at least what the professor says, med school is a lot of fodder. It's a lot of books and like.
Is that how you can be good at it?
I don't think so. I think you just have to talk about it as much as you can. We talked about it often. About what surgery would be like. Is it scary?
Have you done a heart surgery?
No. Oh my God. What are you doing? No. We just talked about it often. But I have a degree for it. I don't think I can perform. I think it's highly illegal. But I do think the degree sets me up for a future in what could be perhaps consultation online.
Have you ever witnessed a surgery?
No. Have you?
Many.
Really?
Yeah. I had the wild idea that I wanted to be a doctor, a surgeon.
You did?
Well, this is young, though.
Yeah, sure.
So I was like a freshman in high school. And I'm like, I think I want to be a doctor. I mean, I'm a freshman.
Aren't your parents like...
Yeah, of course, but I think they're like, well, this is a good sign.
It's a good sign, but also like...
No, he's not going to do
He can't get...
But I was like, yes, I do. I mean, I'm very convincing, you know, and they're like, okay. So I go, I think I want to be like a surgeon, though, you know, so...
Yeah.
My dad calls his brother, who's like a well-known doctor, who sets me up.
Is your dad a doctor, by the way?
No.
Okay.
His brother. And sets me up to go to the Mayo in Jacksonville and witness surgery, like for a day.
To just be a part of it.
Like, I get there 7 a.m. And I'm a freshman. I remember that one of the doctors goes, "What school do you go to?" I was kind of a big kid, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, for a freshman in high school, I was probably, I don't know, 5'9", 5'10", and like 185 or something. Full size.
Yeah.
And he was like, "What school do you go to?" And I say my high school, and he's like, "That's a university?" And I go, "I'm in high school." He was like, "You're in high school." So I think he thought he was also...
Did you eat the other high school boys?
Well, he goes like, "Why are you... Like, he thought he was going to take like a college kid.
Right.
And he's like, "So you're here?" I was like, "I want to do this." And he was like, "Okay."
All right.
So I witnessed 13 surgeries that day.
Holy fuck.
They start me like first day, like I'm at the hospital, 6:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
And this guy, he's like, all right, and he takes me, and like the first surgery we witness is to an 87-year-old woman who's having a cyst removed from her vagina.
Oh my God.
And I go in there, and he's like, you're gonna stand here. He goes, like, so I'm standing at the foot of the bed.
And you standing in like a smock and all
staring
that shit?
straight up. Yeah. I'm covered and everything. And he goes, come here. And he pulls me aside. He goes, just so you know, she's not under. So if you say something, she can hear it. And I go,
she's
okay.
awake for the surgery?
Yeah, she's just like anesthetized.
Right, from
below
down
the waist.
Yeah.
Do they start and like, so there's this 87-year-old pussy just like wide open in front of me. I'm like, all right.
That's how you knew you were gay.
I knew it. And then he's like, they go in there, and then he's like, here's the cyst, and then he's like, holy shit, like this is enormous. So they start bringing in other people to look at it, and then they go like, Edith, and she's like, yes. He goes, we're gonna take some pictures. And she's like, okay.
We just want to post this stuff,
He's
man,
like,
on MySpace. This is wild.
We've never seen one this size, so this is going to be in a journal, but your face won't be in the photos or anything like that, okay?
She just gives like a rock on above it. Yeah, fuck yeah.
And so they start taking pictures, and I'm sitting there like, oh my God. And then he pops it. It's just like oozing with it.
Oh my God.
And we leave that, and he was like, wasn't that something? And I go, yeah, it was.
Yeah, I'm going to get into stand-up comedy.
Yeah. He's like, let's go watch some more surgeries.
Fuck that. Like, I don't, that to me, I've always had a stomach for stuff that's like, that turns people, but I never understood how someone could like over and over want to open people up. I was always like we did the frog in, in bio or whatever, you have to open up the frog. And that made people sick. I remember kids puking in class. And it never made me sick, but I was like, who would want to do this over and over?
Oh, I know.
Who would want to do it?
Well,
I was
listen,
like, it's so weird to open shit up.
I spent that day, and I was like, I don't want to do surgery.
Fuck that. No way. I never get the whole idea of like, I could be okay with doing it if I have to do it, but there's people that are so comfortable that it doesn't. It's like I thought about this the other day when I was when I was going to get my ankle looked at in the medical building. As I'm passing these hallways, I'm passing like there was an optometrist, an optometrist. There's every kind of doctor. And as I was in the waiting room, I thought about that. I was like, God, I wonder what it's like to make the decision of like, I guess this will be my focus, because I definitely don't want to do that. And I know internally they probably talk shit to each other. They're like, what are you? It's like, I'm a podiatrist or an orthopedist, and they're like, oh, bitch. Oh. Like, do they shit on each other?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So like, if you're a surgeon, they're like top tier shit, and they look at the other doctors like bitches. Like, oh, is that you?
They absolutely do.
That's so funny.
They general surgeons, I'm saying, are up there. Cardiology, like heart surgeons.
Well, that's legit.
Neurologists.
Right.
You're doing like.
Who's the lowest? Who's the one that they mock the most?
Well, I mean, I'm sure it's probably chiropractors.
Yeah.
But then. Even if you're
you gonna fix his back? They might.
Yeah, I mean, they're like, you're not. But I mean, I'm sure they definitely all. If you're like, your general physician, they realize that you're a necessity. You're needed. But they're like, they are.
What do you really?
They're like, that.
They call him Wikipedia.
I'm way above you.
Yeah. Like, here comes Dr. Wikipedia with his generalization.
WebMD's here, everyone. Yeah.
Are you gonna guess what someone has again, Mike? Is that what you're gonna do?
So your whole thing is that you refer your patients to us.
Wait, who? Because I saw a thing. Someone just to make fun of that. Oh, there's a show called Floor is Lava on Netflix that people are watching now. Do you know about this bullshit?
Floor is Lava?
Yeah, it's like a gauntlet game show. 3 people, they try to get through a room where the floor is literally like bubbling fucking lava, and they have to jump from thing to thing to thing to get to the exit. And if they fall in, they lose points.
It's real or scripted?
Real lava. No, it's like a game show.
It's a game show.
Yeah,
okay.
No. But during one point they had doctors versus nurses, and the doctors were like, no, we love our nurses, like they're the best, like they're wonderful. And the nurses were like, did they talk shit because we do like all the fucking work. Like they just get to like saunter in and like read a fucking notebook that we like. They were so annoyed.
I love it.
It was like funny that they were like, oh, what did they say they do? Because they're like GPs, like we do everything. And the one girl was like, no, seriously, she's like listing off all this shit that you could tell that there's such like this internal clashing where they're like, don't think you're not better than us. It's like, well, I am better than you. And they're like, no, fuck you. Like, we do the thing. You just get to take credit for the thing.
It's a very classist thing, I think, especially with doctors and
nurses.
For sure. And I think, because here's the thing, like, if you're, a nurse actually has a pretty extensive education.
Of course.
Really knows.
Yeah, to get there is not just like, you don't just like sign up.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think that they're less dismissed. I mean, there's probably jokes with doctors, but the way that like civilians are like, you're a nurse. It's like, I'm sure they're probably like, do you know that I could save your life?
Yeah, right.
Like,
that is true.
Yeah.
They just get kind of brushed off as like you're a part of the process.
Yeah.
Which is a bummer because it's almost like,
yeah, they're not parking attendants. Like they're.
Well, that's how doctors treat nurses the way, from just what I've heard, you treat everyone that's ever opened for you.
Oh,
you are
savage.
brutal. Yeah. You're brutal. Somebody told me one time, whoever was opening for you a couple years ago, not only did they couldn't get a hotel, you forced them to, you rented a car at Hertz, you rented like a Chevy Volt, and you made them sleep in the car.
I did, and I also.
You wouldn't turn it on, no.
I don't turn it on, no.
Wow.
You got, because it's about, getting, like, I realize I'm a coach for these, openers.
What were you going to say? Were you going to say bitches?
Well, I was going to say,
is that what you're going to say?
I also asked for a feature gift.
But
so
they have to bring you
They have to bring me a gift. And so the first time that I, was educating one of them on it, and they were like, what's a feature gift? And I'm like, well, you gift the headliner as a way of saying, thank you for having me. Mm-hmm. And the opener was like, well, how much should I spend? And I go, how much are you earning this week?
Right.
So she said, $500. And I go, something around $500.
$500 to $600.
Yeah, it should be.
They should be willing to take a loss to open for you.
Yeah, of course.
Financially, because I have heard what you typically do is, if a feature is getting a certain amount of money, let's just make it arbitrary, and let's just say like, oh, they get $700. I've heard that you dock depending on how many jokes you don't like.
Yeah,
that's true.
Oh yeah, if you don't open strong.
Right. So is it how do you dock? Is it $10?
I don't want any.
$20?
Yeah, if you have a wildlife joke, you immediately lose $100.
Really? So it's out.
Out.
And what's the biggest detrimental joke? Like, what joke can they tell that you really take away the most money? What is it that's like the thing that they, just to inform listeners in case they don't know, that you really start taking away money if they do a certain kind of joke or?
Yeah, if they do an accent or like, something about like, one time I was with my mom and
family stuff.
Yeah. Then
you really cut it. Then
I'll just go right to half.
Have you ever made sure that people that work with you don't get paid at all?
I try to. Like if I do a club, I'll tell the club, I'll go, are you planning on paying them? And they'll be like, yeah. And I'll go, just give it to me.
Wow.
Yeah. And then they'll go like, you'll pay them, and I go, yeah. Yeah, I'll pay them.
It's your comedic choice as a performer to do what you want, but I do think that's
well,
weird.
I like to remind them. I like to go to when they're like, I didn't get paid. I'm like, oh, did everyone come out to see you?
Is that what you say to them?
Yeah.
I guess I get that, and it is your
Ask
show.
any of them. They'll tell you.
Yeah.
Like, oh, yeah.
Can I ask you one more intimate question that's kind of along the comedy lines? There's rumors on the internet that your son is a ghostwriter for some of your material.
Yeah.
You're willing to admit that on the show? You're willing to admit that today, that your son actually does write some of your stuff?
So where are you gonna join? You think to play?
Dude, the deflection is so obvious.
I'm not deflecting. I'm saying
you're deflecting, dude.
You said you were gonna join.
You're deflecting because your son writes your shit.
You're saying that because.
And I cannot wait for this to come out so people can hear finally that, like, people always are like, Tom's so funny. Like, I have friends that go, I love Tom. Oh, you're friends with Tom? I said, yeah, we're cool. Yeah, I love Tom. And, oh, dude, I think Tom's so funny. He's a genius. People say that kind of bullshit, that they think you're this comedic, fucking like a phenomenal comedic entertainer, and you're so funny. And for years I've been like, there's no fucking way that he does his own stuff.
Yeah.
And I thought that he doesn't steal jokes from peers, because I know you don't steal from comedians, but I go, he's getting it from somewhere. So is it your son for real?
Here's what I've heard.
Yeah.
I've heard that you can join a club socially, or you can join them to play just play golf. but you get a better deal.
Yes.
I think if you join socially, then you don't have golf access.
Well,
So you gotta.
to be honest,
Yeah.
I'm not joining a club. That was just to bait you to find out.
You're not gonna
pull
join a
you
club?
have. I just wanted to find out if you could had some pull in some town to get me into some things.
Do you feel like when you argue with someone that your heart rate goes down?
Yeah, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a psychopathic trait.
Yeah, it goes way down. Like if we get into a debate, I calm down.
You calm down?
Yeah, because I feel like I have to, because you sink low, everything slows down, so I can start picking out
So
stuff. Like,
your heart rate doesn't race and you don't get short of breath?
no, at any moment I I saw that big gold thing over there, and I thought I could hit him over the head with that and hurt him bad.
And that calmed you down?
It makes me feel good.
Yeah. That's a good sign.
That gives me like a solace of the moment.
Dr.
knowing-
Drew was telling me about that. He was like, and some people, because we were watching a confrontation on a video clip.
Arguments?
Yeah, and he was like,
Tell me it was the woman calls the girl an N-word and she fights her. That one?
No, it was a different one.
God, so that one's
it was
so
a
funny.
neighbor. It was a neighbor who was mad at his neighbor for burning dirty. I'd never even. He meant using dirty firewood. He's like, oh, your fucking smoke is dark.
Yep.
And he was going crazy.
Using bad wood, you're burning up.
And Drew was like, there are people who, when they do this, when they confront, their heart rate actually lowers. Like it makes them feel good to have the confrontation.
Wow.
They get into a calm
they get off on
whereas
it?
most of us would be like, the fuck, and you would feel your heart rate go up, and you feel your throat dry out, and you're like, you can even feel like that
anxiety.
Yeah, he's like, no, this guy. He's like, this might just be like a thing he does, and he feels good after it.
There was a woman who was flying through the neighborhood. This is crazy. Because, if a guy was doing something and I got into a verbal altercation with a guy, at this age that you're like, I'm not fighting a guy. This is fucking insane unless he's doing something I need to, really defend something.
Yeah.
But with a guy, I'd be like, oh, fuck you. And I'd probably stay the same heart rate.
Yeah.
My heart went through the roof.
Because it was a woman.
This woman, because her confidence was staggering.
Yeah.
Dude, she was flying down the street in our neighborhood. We're walking our dog. And our neighborhood's quiet as fuck. And she's flying in this truck. And as she goes by, I do the very dad bullshit. I'm like, slow down. I do the slow down. I throw slow down. And her window's open. Slams on her brakes. Puts it in reverse. I'm not kidding. It puts it in reverse.
When it goes, you're...
Yes, my heart was like...
Yeah.
I saw it was like this little tiny girl. And she's like, what the fuck did you say, you fucking bitch? And I was like, I said, slow down, you're flying through the neighborhood. I'm trying to keep my composure, but inside I'm like, dude, this lady is crazy. She's going to kill me.
Yeah.
If it was a dude, I probably would have been like, oh, fuck you, bro. Get the fuck out. This woman was tight. She could barely over the wheel. Her head was like a foot over the wheel. And she's like, what's that? Yeah. Oh, I go too fast for you, you pussy. And I swear to God, dude was emasculating the shit out of me. And I'm like, you need to calm down. I'm like, you need to slow down in the neighborhood. I couldn't get it out because I couldn't believe she had the... I thought, no way is this woman going to back up and be like, you fucking bitch. And then and then I started doing this. I started saying, you need to relax. You need to relax.
That killed her.
Oh, yeah, dude. She's like, oh, I need to relax.
How old was she?
Huh?
How old was this?
Oh, maybe, 38, but with drugs, 46.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? She had a tough day. She had a really tough time.
Usually, the druggies, though, they'll do that shit.
Oh, yeah.
I've had the confrontation.
Oh, she's ready to fight.
Yeah. This was not drug-related. Mm-hmm. I have a car where I just had a crazy exhaust put into it, and I was shifting manually. And so I went to shift in this neighborhood, and you could hear like when I shifted. I wasn't going crazy fast.
But it does sound so.
But it sounds nice. And this guy walked down the street. He just goes like this.
I've been that guy, by the way.
So you know what I did? That was just kind of a psycho move. I was driving. I went like that.
Yeah, I like fast cars.
And then I just kept going.
Yeah, you don't have to stop for that guy.
No.
But I do think if you're flying through, if you're going super fast, like absurdly fast on the freeway or on major roads, I'm cool with it because I like fast too.
Yeah.
Neighborhoods.
No, it's not cool residential.
I just think you're a dick. Like
you are.
If you want to speed, go on the main road. If you want to flip your car on the freeway, do it, dude.
Yeah.
I want to watch it. Whenever I see someone flying, I'm always like, do it. I want it when people are cutting through lanes.
Yeah.
My dad is always like, look at this fucking guy. You know the guy that's like, changing lane.
Yeah.
My dad's like this asshole, and I'm always like, no, I love it because I want to see. I want to watch it.
Yeah,
if I'm behind it, I want to see it. When I was a kid, I've told the story before. My dad and I watched a car. No shit. I watched a car go from the opposite side of a freeway over onto our side of the freeway, with my own two eyes.
Yep.
Watched it happen. He must have either fallen asleep or avoided clipping someone and went over wasn't a medium. It was the old. There wasn't concrete mediums. It was like on the Kennedy Expressway, and it was like a guardrail. They were almost like mini guardrails. You know, they were just single strips.
Flipped over there.
It cracked over and then spun. Yeah, watched it happen as a kid. I was like 9. I remember it so vividly, and it was like on the news. It was this big thing, and the whole time I was like, we were there.
Yeah.
It was absurd. And I don't even know what ended up happening. Everybody died. But whatever the case, it's like if someone's going to be crazy on the freeway, it's like that's the spot to do it, I guess.
Yeah.
You're going to be absurd. Have you gotten an absurd speeding ticket in one of these things? Because you like a zoom fast car guy.
I like a zoom fast. No, I haven't gotten a speeding ticket in a while, and I've never gotten pinched when I was doing. I was going
when you were doing coke when you were speeding.
Well, I got pulled over. I just remembered this. I got pulled over about 6 months ago going pretty fast.
What are we talking?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I was
doing.
Over
100?
The thing is, like, I was
in a school zone. You were going 185.
No, I was doing that thing where, it was a night drive. I was coming back to LA.
Yeah.
And it was like you'd hit pockets where you can floor it, but then you see cars, you slow down. It's like freeway driving after 10:30.
90 to 100.
Yeah, you're in that zone.
Mm-hmm.
And I got lit up. I was like, fuck. And she let me go. It was a female.
Did she know who you were?
No.
She didn't know who you were?
She didn't say anything.
Because I feel like people that let go, it's only because they know who you are. Why would cops let you go when you're speeding? She's probably a fan and didn't say it.
I got pulled over again last week. Now you remind me. I got pulled over last week in a different car, and he let me go.
Yeah, he knew who you were. There's no fucking... You know how many people are listening like, fuck, you got... When people get pulled over, the cop has no reason to not give you a ticket.
Well, he goes, where are you going so fast? This is what he said last week.
How polite.
I know. I go, I'm sorry. And he goes, where are you going so fast? And I go, I didn't even realize I was going fast.
Like, you didn't...
I was like...
You didn't?
I go, was I? I go, and then I go, I'm sorry. I was just... And he goes, was that your friend there? Because I was driving with someone who was in another car.
Oh, yeah.
And I go, hi. Yeah. Like, I don't know. That guy?
There's a guy there?
And then he goes, all right, give me, I gave him everything. And
yeah.
He's like, he comes down, he writes something down, and he goes, he gives me my license. He goes, do me a favor? And I go, yeah. He goes, slow it down for me. And I go, sure, yeah.
Tom Segura.
That was it.
He knew who you were.
I don't know.
Yes, dude. Yes, because I'm not famous like you're famous. I have like a few people that go, oh, I kind of recognize this weirdo. Aren't you from a thing that I don't like? And I go, yes. And when I get pulled over, every time I've gotten tickets. I have a felony ticket from my past for going double the speed limit. Yeah. But that's when I first started in comedy, and I was doing those triple runs.
How fast were you going?
130. 130.
In a...
What was a 65 zone, I think? Yeah.
Where were you?
Outside of Nevada. On the way to Winnemucca.
How fat is that ticket?
I mean, this was 12 years ago, 13 years ago, but it was a felony charge that I had to go to court for.
Holy shit.
Yeah, which was crazy because they can if it's double the speed limit, it is a felony, right? And they don't have to write it as a felony write-up ticket. It can be just a violation.
And they could choose to make it a felony.
But
something tells me that, like,
go ahead.
When he met you, he was like, I kind of want to make this a felony.
Yeah, same. Yeah, it's happened to me my whole life with cops. I've always had an adverse reaction to cops. My cops are my family, and I respect them.
Yeah.
But the moment I get pulled over, I'm like, this isn't why I pay for you. I get so, dude. I don't say that, but I get so annoyed that I'm like, this is why. Go get a guy that's killing somebody or raping somebody. Like, why am I speeding?
You're that guy.
I fucking hate it.
Yeah.
Why are you getting me? I'm going a little fast.
My older sister, I have an older sister and a younger sister. My older sister.
Your older sister's 92.
92 years old.
Wild.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
We're born so far apart. But she has been the person at fault in 13 or 14 car accidents.
What?
Yeah.
Take her license away.
I know.
That's it. What state is this in?
A few, but mostly in Wisconsin and Florida.
She's a national problem on the road.
It's unbelievable.
Time out. Let me ask you something, not to cut you off.
Yeah.
In Wisconsin, there isn't a 3-strike laws. So maybe that's why because
That's where she started driving.
Okay, because I don't know if you know this. We used to joke about this in Chicago. Wisconsin has no law in DUI culture. If you get 3 DUIs, you have a license.
お主ら、そこを動くな。まずい、つけられてたんだ。
あれ、例の侍だぞ。あなた様でよかった。
野党からさような言葉を聞くとはな。
それは誤解です。狭間浦から猛虎を追い払われたそうですが、奴らが戻ってこないとも限りません。だから神社の貴重なものを隠しているのです。奪われぬよ
う。どうした？みんな置いてきたのか？小山、見つかったんだ。みんな捕まったのか？殺されるぞ。敵は何人だ？数えきれないほどです。戦える者は俺と騎兵が。ついてこい。他の二人は小屋の仲間を守れ。武庫だ。手近なものを使え。かかれ。 新手だ。
逃げればよかった。
さらに来るぞ。
もう戦えねえ。ただの百姓なのに。
誰か深手のやつの。
いや、お前らのおかげでな。
俺たちじゃない、堺様のおかげだよ。この者らは猛虎から逃げてきた者や家を失った者です。守っておったのか。
そのつもりです。
後で盗むため宝を隠したのではないのか。違います。
金が欲しいのではなく、猛虎が去った後のことを考え、人助けをしたいのです。
ならば麻生浦に連れて行こう。あそこなら安全だ。
止まれ。野党どもが何の用だ。裏には入れんぞ。
俺の連れだ。野党であろうともかくまってやってくれ。
ですが信用できま
こ
せん。
やつらは猛虎と戦った。守りの役に立とう。
そうおっしゃるなら。
門を開けろ。こいつらを通してやれ。
酒井様、お礼の言いようもありません。
仲間を守ったように村を守れ。
約束します。
猛虎が去った後、宝のありかを皆に知らせるのだぞ。
もちろんです。信じてくださりありがとうございます。
俺はここだ。
Correct ship, nam không yo.
どの馬はいない。
走れソラ。
ご遠慮なくご覧ください。素材が足りないようですね。
助かった。
どうかご武を。
撃ってこい。来い。
맥주를 허이를 호갔으나助けて。
動くな。
もうどこにも逃げられません。すべての道が猛虎の手の内です。
道で捕まったのか。
はい。奴ら道沿いに野営を敷いて待ち伏せてます。
奴らを退けるまでどこかに隠れておれ。
Perdeu? Hã? Tornarem certo! Yamırdaki marwo, yumafka. Hindman, Han! Yakstiste, küme! Çatırgıç, uga! Yamırdaki marwo, samuray kursa! Baistardla! Jump hard to join. He was at the. Abdul-Baghdad. Tüche. Oy, bu da kıptı harpa.誰が相手だ。